Welcome back to BC Procast episode 35. We are here.
We're here, locked and loaded.
We're here. We're here to talk about things. If you're a person that has constantly been watching and liking and subscribe, well, you can't constantly be subscribing, but
You just
constantly
keep unsubscribing.
watching and liking and commenting, we appreciate you. If you're new to here, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button.
We're trying to hit 1 million before
The end of
2025.
the end of this week. We're trying to hit 1 million before the end of this week.
So send this to all your friends, all your family, even your young kids. Dude, we should just like make a kids show.
Yeah, because they'll watch it on repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how this actually works. It's crazy how little kids are constantly always like watching things over and over and over and over.
Dude,
again,
I
and then
know.
they're just glued. But if anyway, you're new to this podcast, please subscribe, like, throw a comment, say you're new here or something like that.
Say happy birthday to Braedon because it was just his
It
birthday.
was just my birthday.
He is now doing
A quarter of a century.
quarter of a century. So if you know
Yes.
what that is, A plus to you.
I plan on actually living longer than a century though. So
Yeah, and I believe you actually will.
that's the goal. That's the plan. I'm putting it now. I actually read a quote. I have a lot of quotes. Actually, I read a quote
Oh yeah,
basically
you
talking
did.
about at the age of 40, you can then see who chose to take care of their health and who didn't.
Are
So
you
once you
serious?
get to the age of 40, you kind of look around and see other people like that's around your age, and you can be like, all right, so they took care of their health or they didn't. I want to be someone that takes care of my health.
I feel like you're gonna glow
Yeah,
in your age group.
I think I'm active. I just think I just eat
Everyone
like a
eats.
lot. No, like a lot, bro. Like a lot of food. I think I eat a lot. I think that's a problem. But today we want to talk about something specific. You know, the boys only podcast. We talk about things more specific. And one thing I wanted to talk about, I've been thinking about often, is the topic of chasing boredom,
Mm.
pursuing boredom. So for the rest of this podcast, I think we're going like an hour 20 today. We're just gonna be quiet, and we want you to be quiet with us. I'm joking. We probably had so many people click off. I'm joking. Please don't leave. We're
Please
here.
come back.
We're
Please
just gonna
come
be
back.
talking. I'm joking. I'm sorry, guys. That was weird. That was weird. I promise we're not gonna do that anymore. No, we're actually talking. We're gonna be talking about the idea of chasing boredom. So I guess I can just take the start of the saying where this came into my mind to talk about, speak about. I was I was actually thinking I was listening to another podcast. I don't know, but the idea was yeah. I think I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about the idea of just being bored,
Of how they liked it, or just
like how
being
that's
the
like
state of
something
them?
that like I don't even know. Okay, I'm just gonna talk. It could be from a podcast. I also think I kind of came up with some of it. The idea of being bored. When you're bored, that usually spawns and creates the opportunity to be creative,
Mm.
or allows your imagination to run, or also like inspires you to do something to not make you bored.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of benefit that comes out of being bored. But the thing is today is that no one's ever bored. And the reason why no one's ever bored is because of social media, it's because of their phone, it's because of the constant things you're taking in and like making happen. Like like right now I'm at a spot where, you know, I'm able to, as a teacher, I have summers off, and just in being in my situation, like I can afford it currently, especially because it's Braden selfish summer. I'm going to be traveling all over the world.
Already have
I
too.
already have and keep on doing it. Um, but like I often find times like when I'm sitting there doing nothing because I have the day, like I definitely fill my time with being active, and I like to work out, I like to move, I like to do things with friends. I always like to have plans. But like you can also suddenly look at your phone for a notification, and then stumble onto Instagram or YouTube or something, and then be there for like an hour,
Yeah.
and that time just goes away. And then if you're really a person that thinks about like how time matters and you don't have a lot of time on earth or something like that, then you start getting a little paranoid and you get like, oh my goodness, I literally lost that time. And so that's something that's been happening more currently, like more recently now with me, just because I have the extra time, and it maybe even makes me go, man, I wish like kind of working, which is kind of weird to think because you're like, whoa, you're getting paid to do nothing over the summer. Why would you want to go work? But then like the
Mm,
other people, I think other people also realize like, if you're just doing nothing, boring,
yeah. Yeah.
which leads to this stuff. But I don't know. So like I'll finish saying this, and then I have more. I have a lot more to say on it, obviously, but I'd love to hear your thoughts off the bat if anything's made you think. But this all spawned from the point of like I think there's a lot of things that come out of being bored that could be good, that could be beneficial, that inspires creativity or the use of imagination. There's also other things that bad can come out of boredom, but that's where it kind of leads. The idea came from like why we should chase boredom.
Yeah. And I think that like when you were talking, I was almost seeing it as like a fork in a road. Like when you're bored, you can either be like super lazy and go do stuff, or super lazy and like stay in your bed or whatever you may be doing or watching YouTube or stuff. Or you can go out and like create something. Maybe you're a musician, you play the piano or guitar or drums, and or maybe you go hang out with friends and stuff like that. And I was thinking about it, and I think I think when you get bored, you play in your mind of a lot of things that you could do. Like when I get bored, I think of multiple things I could be doing. Like if I'm watching YouTube and I get bored, then I go, okay, I'm really really bored because this is like the last when you go on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it may be, I feel like when you ask someone who's on their phone a lot and you be like, why are you on your phone? Oh, it's because I'm bored. And it's like, so they're being entertained on these little videos or watching a video or stuff like that. And I think that's crazy because when you get to that point and you hit rock bottom when you're watching that stuff and you're still bored, I think that what you're saying is where your mind almost begins to entertain itself of things that it could be doing. And I think that when if you allow yourself to get bored, I think that's the best resort. Instead of trying to constantly fill and entertain yourself,
Mm-hmm.
I think you should let yourself get bored, not resort to other like I'm referring to like social media, resorting to that. Instead, get yourself actually bored so that way you could do something that's what's the word? Productive
Mm-hmm.
instead of something that's like because I forgot who told me. Maybe you told me this. Oh, you told me this. So my family, so at the lake house, my family rented a lake house for 4th of July, and my siblings were constantly like looking at stuff and watching social or watching like YouTube on the TVs, and their eyes were glued. I you probably are going to talk about that later, so I'm gonna like skip that
Yeah, you
really
can
quick.
talk about it.
No, no, no. It. I only bring up that point for that reason. And when I was watching it, Braden was like, "Hey, there's nothing good on there. Like nothing is going to help you. Let's go outside." And like I kept making the joke that I was like staring at the TV. It was actually entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, because your mind is just so like mush sometimes, and you just watch that stuff. It was the kids. I can't even remember. No, it was my sister was looking at YouTube shorts on the TV, which I didn't know was possible. So don't do that because it's addicting. But she was like just going, 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 and I was just watching. And then Brayden was like, "Guys, come on, let's go outside or whatever." And then I was like faking like I was continuing to watch. He's like, "There's nothing good," and then it spawned into working out and actually enjoying my time more because my mind wasn't just focusing on something that's mush.
Yeah, and there's stuff you can learn from, obviously, from like different content that's created, but most of it's nothing. And like the kind of the point that I'm bringing this up is that like when was like I just think the percentage of time, the percentage of people that actually get bored is so much, like so much less. I don't know if that makes sense. A lot less people get bored on
Yeah.
a daily basis, and I just think about like, you know, decades ago, or like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, like when social media wasn't as crazy as it was.
Yeah.
How many people got bored? But like when boredom came, then you went outside and played. Like you
Yeah.
did things and you were active. And like I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, back in my day, but like low key back in my day, like
Yeah.
I played outside. I had Xbox and other things like that, but like, you know, you went and figured things out. My imagination was rampant when I was younger, because like I loved doing that. I played
Yeah.
superheroes. I created superheroes. I don't know. I just think it's crazy.
We collected frogs one day.
Yeah, I know. We became the Frog Bros, or the Frog.
Yeah, I
We
can't
created
remember.
a group. No, but it's just like there's so this relates, but there's a lot of power in fasting. Like you could read through the Bible and see a lot of power in fasting. Like it breaks strongholds. Mountains are moved, quite literally.
Yeah.
Like there's just a lot of power in fasting that a lot of people don't really tap into or understand.
Right.
And it's important to do like on a regular basis, to fast something. And I think it's important. Like you can fast food, you can fast social media, you can fast a lot of different things. But I think there's a lot of power in fasting stuff that like actually you don't want to fast. Like for example, I think me and you have talked like, you know, we can't really fast food. Or at least I'll speak for myself. I can't really fast food because I'm like, sheesh, I'm getting lean. Like you know what I'm saying?
You
Like
look at the mirror a little bit too long.
obviously I can't fast from food. But like one time I fasted from like social media, and like let me tell you, like it was crazy. Like just the connection it was making and like things that were changing my life. But there's a point in time I went to pick up my girlfriend from meet her at a coffee shop, and I come in there and I sit down and I'm waiting for her to like get ready to go, and I was waiting for like at the end of the time probably like anywhere around 15 minutes, but like I wasn't using my phone.
Yeah.
So I was literally just sitting there and I was looking around the room and just sitting there and just sitting there. I was bored. But the thing is like it led me to think about things I didn't think about. Let me like have my imagination run. If it's like thinking about something cool later that day,
Yeah.
if it's just um like just looking around the room, eavesdropping, like that's like one of the coolest things you can do when it's acceptable and okay
Yeah.
to eavesdrop on people. And then I had an old lady come up. She goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just sitting here." She goes, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just waiting." She goes, "Oh." And she was like taken back the fact that I was literally just sitting there. I was like sitting looking at a wall. But I don't know. Like those are the times. I just think like I think this is also a call out on myself. I don't know why I'm weirdly getting passionate about this idea.
Oh, it's
But it's
great.
just like even for myself, I'm finding myself more kind of going on my phone and I'm losing hours
Yeah.
for no reason. Now there is time where like I sit down and watch YouTube like intentionally.
Yeah.
But there's times where like I go on Instagram or TikTok and like that just
It just
and I'm like,
flies by.
there's no reason to do it. But like I think it's important for us to chase boredom because I think it breeds out good things. It can also lead to bad things as well. But you're kind of talking about like a trip and stuff, and we went up, and like I think there's just better things you can do with your time than just
Yeah.
to watch things. And then also you don't know what you're watching. Sometimes something can pop up. I don't know. I kind of hit a dead end
No.
of where I was going. What I was going to say. I have more to say, but I'm right now losing track. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah. I when you were talking about like fasting, first of all,
Yeah.
I love that like you talked about that because I feel like it exposes your fleshly self. It exposes where the areas where you're weak. Like, and I'll speak on myself as well with food. Like when I went on the Daniel's fast, I think I lost 15 pounds.
Sheesh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna start doing this. But then, and this is just to say, don't if know what to fast. Don't fast things because everyone else is fasting it. Fast something that you're weak in. And so,
Like the thing that you go, I could do that.
yeah,
That's the thing you got to do.
yeah,
Like you're like, I mean, there's A, B, and C. A, yeah, everyone's doing A. B, That's cool. C, there's A and B. Like C's,
Yeah.
that's what you fast.
Yeah, when you're like trying to justify why you shouldn't fast something,
Well, I can't.
that's like your tell.
Like I have to do that every day. Like I need that. That's what you
That
gotta
is what you
fast.
should fast. But when I'd fast like social media, first of all, when I fasted social media, you like fasting isn't something that's like all dreading. I feel like you open up to God so much more because you're sensitive to things, and which you're sensitive to things. So that whatever you watch, whatever you play, whatever you're doing, whoever you're hanging out with, when you're fasting, you're sensitive to that stuff. So you take it in faster. That's why you fast and read your Bible because that's your food. Like you're fasting food or anything, that's your food. So the word of God is the bread of life. What verse is that? I don't know.
Bible.
Bible 238.
Bible. It's the Bible.
I don't know what verse it is either. So or no, I don't know what the verse is. You did. You said the Bible. Um, but that like be cautious of what you fast and when you're fasting, what you do. That's just the thought that I had in fasting. But I think also the importance of rest. Dude, for some reason, like you're talking about, you're passionate about boredom. I've been recently super passionate about sleep and resting. And I remember when I was younger and I was sick, I would always love it because I'd be able to stay up and stuff. But my mom would always be like, no, you have to rest. But in my mind, I'd be like, I'm sitting down. I'm like, all I'm doing is just sitting and looking at a screen that's resting. But as I grew up and I like saw what was happening is you may be resting, your body may be like chilling out, but your mental brain or your brain is not resting. So like if you're like down laying down and you're watching YouTube, you're not resting. If you're like for example, I heard something about if you listen to music while you sleep, you're not resting. I was like, what? Because you're thinking of everything of that song. Maybe
That
it's a
makes
song you
sense.
like, or maybe it's a melody, or maybe you're hearing something and you just go, oh my goodness, that's crazy. But resting is when you're actually sleeping, or you're like meditating on the word of God, or you're like praying and you're worshiping. Like that's your resting.
Yeah.
And then, the reason why I bring that up is because let let boredom not be an avenue that you take that shines a light on your weak spots. For example, like going on social media, but instead like actively, and I'm speaking to you guys because Braden is very good at knowing what to do when he's bored, but actively search out something like a talent. I think that this world, actually, I don't know, that might be a hot take.
Hot take. Hot take.
I don't think this
Hot take.
I don't think this world is as talented as it was. When I say that, I was listening to old church music recently, and I was hearing chord progressions like no other, like insane. I so there's numbers and there's like these triangle things that I found out that can be in chords. So you're no longer like playing music. You're doing algebra kind of thing where you'll see like a bunch of like numbers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's no longer just D. It could be D triangle triad whatever. It's like this crazy
Yeah.
stuff. And I don't see them anymore. And if you listen to the songs that we play now, it's like simple chord progressions. But back in the day, it was like like it was like memorized as well. It was like all these things that were just happening. And if you talk to like I used to watch a lot of old musicians speak, and they would talk about the creativity that you needed to have because you weren't able to look at things fast, like you weren't able to like quickly look at chord charts, like you had to know music to play music.
Yeah.
And I do think that there's a lot of talented people in this world, but I think that back in the day, back in my day, no, I actually wasn't like that back in the day. I was playing video games, so I don't know what was happening in my day, but um and I was playing outside, like I was like playing my video games outside. It was weird. But back in the day, I felt like you were forced to build something. You were forced to build your talent. You were forced to refine what you had. And I think that is what we should start chasing, and which leads to chasing boredom, which leads to creativity.
Yeah. I think if the goal is boredom, where you're at the place of you've done everything you need to do in a day, and you get to a place of boredom, that's good because now you're gonna be looking for the next thing to do. And
Right.
that the thing is though, the thing that we can talk about next is that also boredom can lead to bad things, which could then lead to being on your phone. Like, oh, listen, I am probably one of the biggest like YouTube fans. Like, I watch YouTube a lot. I know what's happening in the YouTube world. It's kind of pathetic. Anyway,
You
but
know it.
the thing is though, like, if you're like constantly consuming those things and like all that social media. Excuse me, sorry.
I'm just glad you're not yawning when I
Hey,
was speaking.
I was bored of my own thing. I yawned.
Wait, is that what yawning is?
No,
Because
it
you did
doesn't.
it 3 times
I
when I
know,
was
I know.
speaking.
It was a joke. I was trying to make a joke. I don't know. But if you're constantly like just going to like we're sitting here talking, Caeden stops talking. I'm like, you say something. I'm like, oh yeah. Like, why can't I just be like this? Like, why can't I not? Like, I don't need constant stimulus. In fact, there's this guy. I think he was talking about this on a podcast. Andrew Huberman, I think. I don't know. But he's talking about like things that spike up your dopamine and have a like a drastic downslope are not good for you.
Mm.
Like things that spike it up fast and then it's a constant drop are not good for you. Things that spike it up and then it's a long tapered off thing, that's good for you. Working out. Yeah. You have a release of dopamines and your endorphins, your body's good. Working out literally, oh my goodness, that could be another topic.
Speak on
it. It literally unlocks genetics, positive lifelong life bringing positive beneficial genes in your body. Like there's genes in your body that are locked. But when you start working out and being active and sweat and lift weights and have the blood flow through your body, it unlocks genes that are for longevity.
Are you serious?
In life. Yes.
What?
And if you don't do that, they're locked.
What if you work out and then you stop? Do they lock back up?
Like if you worked out for like a couple of years and then you stopped working out,
yeah,
in general. Yeah, over time, if you become a sedentary life, just like if you put fat on, if you lose your cardiovascular health, if you lose your strength, you're gonna lose that ability.
Wow,
like
that's crazy.
So, anyways, working out, there's a lot of benefits to that. Like it releases a lot of dopamine, but then it's a long tapered off thing. You feel good for like almost the rest of the day.
Yeah.
One thing I've been starting to do ice baths, or should I call them cold baths because they're not like really icy yet. But like it releases dopamine. It gives you this euphoric high feeling of feeling good, energized, and that's a slow tapering off. It's not like right when you get out, you're done. But like social media, that's a high rise and then it's a low down because the video's done. Yeah. Oftentimes with like I don't take drugs, but I know as like a teacher, drugs you take it, but then there's a huge drop off. Yeah. You're not just good, and then also that I don't even want to mention drugs. That stay away from drugs. Drugs are horrible. That's not something you should see. Go after.
Hugs, not drugs.
Hugs, not drugs.
I have a shirt that says that.
But there's just like a lot of things in life that give you that spike. Yeah. But then it goes down. Like for example, even junk food. Junk food, that's not good. Like highly processed junk food, you have that, the spike goes up, and then after you eat it, let me tell you, an hour later, you're not feeling good.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But if you're having like solid protein, if you're having vitamin-enriched meals, like healthy, unprocessed, or like as natural, organic food, yeah, your energy and your focus and all stuff is much long lasting. By the way, I'm not perfect. A lot of this stuff.
I'm looking at him right now. He looks pretty.
A lot of this stuff I've not fallen through like completely like as I'm speaking, but like I kind of saying it to where raise awareness, and it's just like I forgot where I was going with all this.
You're talking about like your spikes and your dopamine.
So it's like those times of like people going through those things like just in dead moments. I was hanging out with a person that I got out of the car come around the car to like grab something out of the car. Like I opened the car door. I was like driving there next to me. I got out of the car door, walked around the car to come into the back seat to grab something. I walked out of the car, came around to the back seat to grab something, in there, looked, and they were on their phone. And I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I don't know." And that's everyone's response. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They go, "I don't know." And then you're like, "All right, let's go in now." Like, "Oh, okay." So they get out. And I'm like, guys, I opened the door, walked out of the door, walked around the car, came back in, and they're on their phone. They weren't on their phone when I left. But I'm like, just those times, like, don't go to that.
Yeah, it's like we're almost afraid to be bored.
Yeah.
Like we're scared
It's
of
like
it.
we're like you have to be like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's
So that's funny. So the last guest, Derek, he was talking about how his friend is super Alfonso, is super. Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, Alfonso, if you're listening, what's up, man? Hey,
mouth the word and I'll beep it. Beep.
So Alfonso, Derek loves you a lot. So he was saying how he's addicted to TikTok or his phone in general. And so when you were talking about like stepping out and like going, they were playing a video game, which is already supposed to be something that fulfills your boredom. And when they were playing Rocket League, and when you score a goal, you get I think 6 seconds. So you score the goal, and if you watch the replay, you get about 6 seconds. In those 6 seconds, apparently, Derek would hear Alfonso's TikTok going as soon as a goal was scored. So it was like, score. And then he would hear it. And he would hear like multiple videos go. And Derek would be like, and then when it'd go 3, 2, 1, and then you go after the ball again, and it was off. Like it was like that 6 seconds. He wasn't even able to like look at the screen or see what happened. I heard a rapper one time. He was like, yeah, like he was like talking about COVID, and he was like, yeah, COVID, it forced me to do a lot of things, like go outside. And he's like, I went outside and I looked at a tree, and I was like, dude, that's a tree. That's a tree. I just don't think people even hot take. I don't think people know what ceilings look like. I don't think what people know what walls look like. Like if you had someone who's always on their phone, close their eyes, ask them what color is the ceiling. You know, because you don't go on your phone. But just test someone and let us know what the solution was, or like what was the end result.
Yeah. Yeah. And also like I've just been on my soapbox all day. I've been listening to what you're saying, but I'm just charged up right now. The other thing too, um, is that the fact that like people like use it as a way to like teleport like out of this world. Like one of the big things I get on, you can ask any of my friends. I when we're out to eat or something, someone gets on their phone, I'm like, "What are you doing, dude? What are you doing on your phone?" And they're like on something. I've been starting to call certain people out. They go, "Nothing that matters." Like cuz I always say it. And I'm like, "You literally hang around living people that are like giving you attention, they could create memories with, and yet you're choosing to teleport yourself away through this device into a completely different world. It could bring you across the world and all that stuff. Like there's a lot of positive and benefits to having social media and everything like that. But the thing is like you taking yourself away. Like right then and there, when I was talking, I saw a text, and in my head, I answered that text message. In my head, I was like, "Oh, that would be the answer I'd respond in text," and it just took me out of this moment, even though I talked through that whole time. But like, you lose track. It's like you're time traveling because you lose track of time. It takes you out of the moment and this pressure. And again, saying all this, I'm not perfect. Like I have a lot of things to work on, but I like to think that I'm much better at being off my phone than others. And like I have friends that like are constantly just on it. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, there's not stuff on there that's cooler and more a better experience than like, for example, at the lake house or go out play volleyball or be looking at the lake, like sitting and just looking at the lake, looking at God's creation. And there's a lot of benefits and good things that come with the phone and social media. A lot of great things that come from it, like you know, um, like entrepreneurship, having connections, finding people that you relate with, finding things that build your interests, that inspire you to become creative. But like, it's not something that's needed. And like, to start back to where I was kind of bringing up before, with boredom, there's also the thing of like there's potential of like bad things as well. So like that's one thing you got also find is that when you get bored, that you need to come up with things that you can return to that are positive, that are productive. Like if it is learning an instrument, if it's being active, like oftentimes like right now I have like full days when I'm not like traveling because I love traveling, and like I choose to make things happen those days. Like I like to work out. I like to move. I like to be active. And if you don't like to work out, walking is great. Put a podcast in your ears. Like for example, this podcast, I could say we're doing something good because this isn't 6 seconds long and constantly changing subjects. We change subjects though. Sometimes 6 seconds, but this is a long thing. And podcasts are actually becoming very popular nowadays. So it's honestly like a good thing to see the generation kind of switch back from like the short form content into long term content. You're kind of even seeing how like kids interact and talk because they're never bored. And like I'm not even old enough to talk about like back in my day, and I repeated that I know earlier, but I know that it was. I think my parents made a priority of me being outside and being active, and not being on online or on technology as much because like that's not the real world. And like, dude, like to fact, like I don't know if this is like a confession thing. Do you know like when Meta was coming out
Yeah.
and like have you seen like Ready Player One, the movie?
I don't know if I saw it. I think I did, but I'm not
It's
sure.
one of the greatest movies. It's not one of the greatest movies. It's a great movie. Actually, I saw a quote that um, if you're good, you tell people about it, but when you're great, they tell you about it.
Is that from the movie? Because
No,
AJ said that quote once, and I was like, "Dude, did you come up with that?" And he said, "Yes."
I don't think he came up with. I'm sorry, AJ. Unless I don't know if you. I mean, let's give it to him. He's the coolest guy in the
He
world.
is. He is pretty cool. He's pretty cool.
Let me source that from AJ. Um, I saw it from anyway. What was he saying right before that? Oh, the things you could do, like if it's picking up a sport, being active. Oh, like working out. You don't have to go work out, even though there's endless benefits to it. Like that could be a whole like you're stupid if you don't choose to be active and work out. Like absolutely, like you're killing yourself. Like anyway, even just walking is beneficial. Like going out and walking a mile. Like how many? Okay, I'm just on my soapbox. How many people can run a mile straight without stopping? Like that should be something everyone should be able to do. Everyone should be able to jump off the ground. Everyone should be able to sprint. Everyone should be. This is very challenging. I don't even know about this, but everyone should do at least one pull up. Like at least one. You should be able to lift your body weight. Like you should be able to hold your body weight and lift your body weight up and set it down. Everyone should be able to do a squat. Like I don't know. I think I'm. I think I'm. I think I might be shooting at a lot of people right now. It's just like it's just
Hot
good
take.
to take care of your body. And I'm not perfect. Like I drop the ball a lot, but like it's just like you need to have these like standards that you hold yourself to that keeps you on track. And I guess it's all stemming from the idea of like chasing boredom.
Yeah.
Because if you're bored, it then can take you to places that you haven't been before. Like you've completed everything you wanted that day.
Right.
Like that's an accomplishment. Now you're bored. Now go accomplish something else or achieve something else or get better at something. And
Yeah.
if you're never bored, that means you're constantly doing things. And then that's a self-reflection point of like, is it productive? Like you were talking about rest. Like, is it productive? Is it something good for you if you're constantly doing things?
I also think that it's just so important to uh, be around and be in the moment with people. Because we were talking, I think, wow, this actually could have been like 10 podcasts ago. which is kind of crazy to say. You were talking about, is it better to have a moment, excitement moment by yourself or with people? I think. What was it
Yeah,
exactly?
is I think, do you fully take in a moment
That's what it is. Yeah.
when you're by yourself or with other people?
Yeah. And I'm slowly, and even this like talking about chasing boredom, I'm even slowly more going towards with people, because when you're talking about that dopamine spike, it's cool to show your friends a funny video because it's funny and you both can show that you can all share that laughter.
Mhm.
But I think when you make your own, like you like almost like starting from scratch, I heard something that, and I believe this too, a homemade meal can always beat out a like fast food meal or whatever it
Mhm.
could be. Obviously, if it's a really nice restaurant and you're not the best chef, you might go towards the
Yeah.
restaurant. But mostly, a home cooked meal just gives you a different feeling. And I think it's because you take ownership for it. And moments that you share with people, you take ownership for it. Like, remember that time when,
Yeah, that
or
you
like,
created.
yeah. And I feel like, and I can't even remember funny videos that I may have showed my friends, but we can have funny moments where we've laughed. Like, where in the lake house, one of the all the best moments I felt like, not even best. I feel like the most memorable moments were like late at night when everyone wasn't on their phone, when everyone was just active and just making jokes and just laughing. And it was those moments that I will always take away from that lake house and stuff like that. And obviously the jet ski and hanging out with like all the kids and all the fun stuff like that. But I felt like late at night when you're just with your friends or with the people that you love, I think those are the moments you take in and you go,
Yeah.
those were good.
Sense of community is important for any health. Like, think about some of the worst punishments that we have as a society and stuff.
That's
Is like
crazy.
prison.
Yeah.
Is I don't know, is that
No. I
did,
think I know where you're going,
which
but
way were you going?
no.
What were you gonna say?
No, I think I know where you're going, and I jumped the gun and I said that's
What were
crazy.
you gonna say? What
No,
were
no,
you
no.
saying crazy to?
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
Like our the punishments now,
Which
which is taking away phones or taking away like social media from people.
I
You're
wasn't gonna say
grounded from
that.
your phone. Like, why is that a punishment? Well, obviously I know why
Yeah.
that's a punishment, but back in our day, it wasn't like okay, so I get to just do what I would usually do, like go outside and hang out with friends. Like back, okay, I will say this. Punishments. I remember one time my mom grounded me from hanging out with my friends. That killed me because I was like, what? And her rule was, they have to ask you to hang out. So what we did, so I shared, so Daniel Johnson was in a duplex over here, and I was in a duplex over here, like literally same road. It was his street, then my street, or my drive-in, driveway,
Driveway.
driveway.
They were house neighbors.
Yeah,
Like
like
the
like
neighbors.
legitimate
They're
neighbors.
neighbors.
And the reason why I was like that is because it was like him, someone else, me, and so
But
our
the houses were right next to each
yeah,
other.
and there's our backyards connected. So I remember I was like, fine, I guess I'll go outside, and I sprinted down. I went down the thing, and I knocked on his door. He's like, "What's up? What's up?" I was like, "Hey, invite me over to your house." He goes, "Why?" I was like, "My mom grounded me from that," and I remember he started laughing because it was like when he got grounded, it was like no media, no on your phone, no. But he really wasn't on social media like that. But it was like no YouTube and stuff like that. So I remember I ran back and then they knocked, and my mom was suspicious, but now she'll know the truth that I did indeed and go and bite them. But he knocked on the door, and that was like a punishment. No, you can't hang out with your friends. That's like okay, that's understandable. But now it's like when I would get grounded when I was like 16. When do you stop getting punished? Like punished?
I have no idea.
Like I not
You didn't have to ask Jayla.
like it was like
Cause I ain't in trouble.
she's the troublemaker.
She got in trouble all the time.
She bit Braden one. No, Braden bit himself and blamed it on Jayla, and she got in
There
trouble.
was one time we were in the car and we would mess with each other, and I bit myself, and I go, "Ow! ow. And they look back, my parents. I'm like, Jayla bit me. And they go, Jayla? She goes, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Because who would bite themselves? That'd be
That'd be
psycho.
silly.
Be silly. But anyways, the punishments now today are insane, dude. Because it's like for example, Lincoln got punished or got disciplined. His punishment was you can't go on the Oculus, and so he just went outside. But he was like bored. Like I asked him, "What are you doing?" And he was like pouting. I was like, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" He goes, "I can't go on the Oculus." I was like, "Okay, good. Then go outside. Look at a tree, dude.
Yeah, climb a tree.
Climb a tree."
And we're not old.
Yeah, we kind of are.
No, we're not. I'm not.
You're not. I am. I'm an old fart, man.
It's just like, and again, I use my phone a lot. I use my phone a lot and all that stuff, but it's just like, I think it's just like a challenge to everyone. Like, let's try to chase boredom. Like, try to get to a place where it's just like you're sitting out in nature and taking it in, because you're experiencing much more being in the present and having your body be where you are than other places. Oh, the thing I was gonna say. Do you know like Ready Player One? I talked about Meta the Oculus.
Yes.
So they're talking about like how it could be like the thing where everyone like is like living in this Oculus world, or like you put it on and like you can go see the world, go experience things, see the craziest stuff, and like live inside this thing. I was like, oh my goodness, like that's the worst thing for us as humans. But I go, oh wait, awesome. You know why? Because no one is gonna be in the real world. So that means less people I have to deal with, and prices of like traveling probably would go down, hopefully, to try to get people. So that means I could travel more and do things. And like I can jump off a cliff into an ocean and they can watch people do it, or they can experience it through their things. But it was just like it made me, when that was like the idea was like happening like really like a lot. I was like, sweet. Like the whole idea of playing ping pong against someone in another part of the world. You could just play ping pong with someone alive and feel the sting of the ping pong ball if you got hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I guess just at the end of this all, it's just like, I think a good goal is to chase boredom. I think it means you accomplish things for your day, but then it allows the opportunity of imagination to be, and there's so much power in imagination. Like a term that I like read one time, it's called an Imagineer.
Ooh. I see what they
I'm
did
looking
there.
at the definition real
Like
quick.
an engineer, but imagining. But you're an imaginer. Whoa. Don't quote me on that. That did not sound smart at all.
So, Imagineer. So the definition here is a person who is skilled in implementing creative ideas into practical form. A person devises and implements a new, highly imaginative concept or technology. In particular, one who devises the attractions in Walt Disney theme parks. I think that's where Imagineer came from, like Walt Disney theme parks. It was the best firework display Disney has ever imagineered. And the cool thing is, it's like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you're taking imagination, but you're implementing it and creating something that is then shows forth. And it's cool to be Imagineer because that means like you're constantly like challenging your brain to think and to become something, or like to work to create something. And like another thing I think we talked about past, so like the power of like creativity, or like being like an artist, like being a, like creating. Like I think God's the creator of all things, and I think we have a lot of his traits that he's given us. And one thing he's given us ability is to create, like like music that's not from this world, it's from heaven, but we're able to create music that's uplifting to him. We're able to create this technology that a lot of us use, that we're using right now. Like, I don't know. I just think oftentimes where boredom comes or problems comes, that's when solutions or like avenues of like just like pot like new stuff comes from.
Yeah. I might have another idea. This could go somewhere, but it might be. It might just be like a thought. But I was thinking about social media again. And I was thinking about how when you're on social media, you're a follower. Like when you're watching it, you're watching and you're following things, right? You're not really creating stuff, kind of like what we were talking about. And so I was just thinking about you would want to be a leader instead of a follower. You want to be a good follower, though, to make
Well,
you
you're
into
kind
a
of
good,
talking about
to make a good leader. But when you're watching all that stuff, you're really not you're not helping you. You're not helping your life. You're not helping your characteristics, your talents, your abilities, your mental self, what you're doing. Just
yeah.
it's all becoming
I
mush.
mean, there's a movie called Nerve, I believe, which is a great movie. I don't know if you remember that.
That's what I
Yeah.
keep thinking Ready Player One is.
Yeah. No, that's not that. But yes,
Wait, is that the one where they get like a dare?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
Nerve.
Okay, so I keep
Ready
getting
Player
those.
One is like when they live in like
Yeah, so whenever someone says Ready Player One, I always think of Nerve.
yeah. So they
So
have.
that's why I say I've seen it.
I think the terms they use is a watcher and a doer or something like that. But you were just saying is like, are you going to be the person doing the things, the person watching people do things? Like,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people that make it big on YouTube and social media and stuff, they're very thankful that they have everyone watching and like being a fan or partaking in what they're doing. But also, like a lot of them like, but you go out and do stuff. Go out and do stuff. Like you be the person that like creates things that people watch.
Right.
And I don't know.
Be okay with being bored. It's okay.
I think that's a good thing to go after. I think it's an important thing.
I think it's a great thing to chase. Chasing boredom. What a great topic. What are your thoughts? It's kind of dumb. That's the last time I'm asking you.
Last time we're asking you.
Jeez. All right. Well, yours thing just started blinking red, and mine already turned off once. So I'm sorry that if my voice cut out, but yours just went like green, black. Oh, see, it's doing it again. You saw it?
Yeah, I did.
So that's our time limit. That's our time limit.
Please like, subscribe, send it with someone. I think we really want to challenge you to chase boredom. Obviously you're not going to stay bored, but like just take it in, sit there, just look at nature, just sit in the coffee shop. Don't be constantly using this to like fill the space of boredom.
Yeah.
Like just be bored and allow your mind to take you to places that are good and beneficial. Now, if you ruminate or you do bad, like it takes you to a bad place, don't do that. Then fill something good that's productive. But like I challenge you guys to chase boredom this week or just for the future. Chase boredom. Try to make that a goal. But make sure you like, subscribe, follow. Hopefully we fueled your curiosity. I feel like we definitely did today.
Yeah, we did.
Make sure you pray, talk to your creator, talk to God, talk to him, let him know what's up, tell him about your life, even though he knows, but he wants to hear from you. He wants a relationship with you. Read your Bible.
Ask him what you could do to fill your time with. Whether that's read the Bible, whether that's spend more time with him, or look at his creation.
It could lead to a powerful fast too, which we all also talk about. But yeah. That's episode 35. That's 35 episodes. That's
35
crazy.
episodes. Oh my goodness, dude, we're making it. Make
sure you subscribe. 52.
Send this to 8 people.
And comment down.
Happy birthday, Braedon.
Yes, comment down that, and then comment down something you're gonna do once you get bored.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. Hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.